the banks are now regulating the governments. And this is, when you come to this realization, it's a very shocking thing to think that actually could happen, but it's been in place, in my view at least, for a long, long time. So when I think about the so-called banking crisis that everybody's talking about, I realize that it is a crisis, but it's been with us for a long time. We're just now beginning to see the mushrooms come up, and we can see the impact of it and how it might really change our lives in the very near future, so that we no longer have freedom of choice in the market. We will not be able to buy and sell without permission from this cabal. I think it's probably a good name for it. So that's how I look at it. It's not so much the details of who is doing what today, what the latest announcement was, because it's all more of the same, just moving constantly and steadily toward that goal, which they have talked about for decades and decades, that goal of a cashless society where the individual citizens no longer have money. We used to think that money was our money. We could put it in our pocket, put it in our coffee can, bury it, or put it in a mattress or something. We can put it in our pockets. No, in a cashless society, we have nothing to put in our pockets. It's all digital. Of course, we have digital money now, but we still also have, in addition to digital money, we have actual currency, which we can consider our own. But where we're headed, and they've talked about it for a long, long time. Where we're headed now, and you can see it very clearly on the grass, is nobody will have cash. There'll be no such thing as cash, which means it's not our money. We don't own it. We'll be allowed to use numbers, and they'll give them a name. They'll allow us to call it a dollar or whatever they allow us to call it, but it's not going to be the same thing. And the amount of those that we have will be allocated to us. It will not be earned by us. It will be allocated to us based on our social record and our political attitudes, so that those who are cooperative with the cabal will live pretty well. And those who don't, like I am, are not going to live too well. And probably not you either, Danielle. I think you're pretty outspoken, and all the people that you admire are probably not going to do well. So that's my answer to your question. It's perhaps not what you anticipated, but in summary, I would say that the crisis has been here for a long time, and we're just now beginning to see what looks like the beginning of the final stage in that crisis.
Okay, a few points.
In summary, I would say that the crisis has been here for a long time, and we're just now beginning to see what looks like the beginning of the final stage in that crisis.
Okay, a few points. Gave me shivers. What's the end goal, though? Is it complete control and the fact that we'll no longer have privacy, that the government would know exactly what we're doing all the time? And if so, the counter argument, what I hear is, well, what's the difference with what we have now and all those plastic cards? They can already track us anyways.
Well, yes, they can track us, but they're, the Internet of Things and the whole development, rollout of 5G technology will elevate the ability to track us by a factor probably of 100. I'm just picking that number in range, but it's a significant factor.
Okay.
They'll know what our heartbeat is. I mean, because they'll track us from cell phones and things which can monitor a certain electronic or electromagnetic field in our bodies and things like that. They'll track when we blink an eye. They'll know everything about us. They'll even know our moods. They'll know when we're thinking about objecting, even though we might say something, they'll know when we're not telling the truth. So it's the ultimate form of tracking.
So I want to push it a little further. Okay, let's play this scenario out. We're all on a digital payment system. There's no more cash, no more paper money. They know everything I've done since I woke up at 5:30 a.m. this morning. What do they do with the info? So what? I'll ask you. Present the scenario.
Well, the so what part is that as long as you are not making waves and causing opposition to the program of the ruling elite, why, you'll do okay, because they need you. They need you to work and produce whatever you produce for the system. But the minute the the AI detects something or patterns of performance on your part that rings a bell, then they'll suddenly look at you very closely and decide whether or not you really are, you deserve to continue to even exist. Because if they want you out of the way, they'll think of ways, or your AI systems will think of ways to get you out of the picture. In other words, to eliminate you from the surface of the earth. And it might be that they want you to go in and get another shot of some kind of a vaccine, which is going to be deadly or something like that. I'm just picking that at random. But that's the kind of thing.
You know, I think, and I think,
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments.